Hey garden friends, welcome back to Flower Patch in the greenhouse. Today I'm trying to rush and beat the sun because when the sun hits, this place becomes super hot in here. So I am going to fertilize all my seedlings, and I was just going to share with you a little bit on how I do that and how easy it is when I use my eco-organic. Now I did a little spiel on this just a couple of weeks ago or a week or so ago and explained all about it, and so I will link that video in the description box below. And also hopefully we can get on to some planting. I got some things I have got to get potted up. All right, let's get rolling on this video of mainly fertilizing seedlings to help them grow on so that we can plant them out in the garden. First of all, how do I mix it up? Well, it says 1 ounce to 2 ounces per gallon of water, and that's what we're going to do. Now, do I always measure? No, but I will today just for your edification. Now, this is a old measuring spoon. I probably got it at a thrift store. Thrift store finds are fabulous. So we're going to measure out a tablespoon. Now, sometimes with really tiny seedlings, you want to go light on the fertilizer. So that's what we're going to do. Now, even though there's a faint fishy smell to this, because I do believe with the recycled food waste, there is fish, food protein, hydrosilate fish protein. So it does have fish in it. I'm very sensitive to the odors of fish. And then I will turn on my hose. Hopefully this hose is on. I was able to fix my faucet in here, or the link to it. So let me first turn it on and see if I have it. Yes, I do. I'm going to fill it up down here so I don't get it all over my table. I don't know if you can see my table. It's an old door and it's starting to peel and warble, whatever, get wonky. And yeah, I need to replace it. I think I want to put something smaller in here because I do tend to stack things on a flat surface. And if I had more room, I could do some more of these shelves. And let me turn that off. And then I could stack more plants and not get quite as crowded. All right, okay, so I mixed it up. That looks a little light to me, but that's what we want for our small seedlings. Now, I'll turn the camera this way because that's where a lot of my seedlings are sitting, and you can see what I am talking about. Got a bucket in my way here. So let's look on over here. The sun's starting to hit, so I'm going to have to hurry up because my camera tends to overheat. So here, this is Agastache. It's called Sunset something or other, and I'll put the name up when I find it. But a whole bunch of these really took off, and I need to get them, I really do need to get them potted up because you can see the roots are way down here. And or probably next week I could plant them out in the garden and just be fine with that. Here are my white swan seedlings. And then we move over here. These are the Delphinium cuttings I took just a couple weeks ago and showed you how I did the root divisions or cuttings for that. Over here, these are some Salvia tip cuttings that I'm rooting. And this is my Tiny Tim tomato. This tomato stays real small. It only gets to be like a foot high, or supposedly. Let's see how that plays out. I've got plenty here. I want 1 or 2, and then I might even put one as a centerpiece in a container with some flowers and put it on my back deck so I can pick from it. It's a cherry tomato. And this is some petunia seedlings. They were looking really scruffy, and so I potted them up in this wave petunia. This is some of the pink wave that I had potted up. Over here, let me see, can you see over here? Over here, this is my genuine, or is this my, genuine tomatoes. Look at how beautiful they are. They were struggling too in the little pots, and when I potted them up, they just took off. So if your seedlings are stalling, then go ahead and plant them up. Now I could plant these out, and these ones will go into 4-inch pots because I do not need 6. So I'm going to give several away. I will keep 1. Maybe 2 in case I lose one. And this one, I have a regular beefsteak. I think this one is it. Yeah, this is beefsteak. And over here, yep, that's hitting. My marigolds, when I seeded my marigolds, I had very little germination, and I don't know why. I have struggled this year with seedlings, and I don't know if it was the medium. This is the first year that I actually bought seed starting mix, and I did not have near the successes I have had just using the EB Stone potting mix. So I don't know, that's not a scientific test, that's just what my experience was this year. So these are some seedlings that I thought were too tiny when I potted them up. I did not think they would make it. They're doing okay. They're still smaller than the others, but they made it. So hooray for that. Over here is, here's some more of the zinnias that I started. This one is not the orange, these are the mix. The orange I have are this big that I sowed with you in here. Okay, let me see down here. Oh, here's my castor bean. And I did 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 I got from a 6 that I sowed. So these are going to go out in the garden. These are great because the gophers shouldn't eat them. If they do eat them, they will be gone. So that's a good deal. Now this is the pepper that I bought at Lowe's, and there was 2 in 1 pot, and the pot was like $5.99. So that means when I divided the 2 peppers out of that 1 pot, then I actually paid like $3 each. So that's how you could save money, by buying 2 in 1 pot at a garden center, if that's what you want to do instead of seed starting. Now here is the Echinacea that I divided with you. I will link that in the description box, that video. So if you have some, even in a pot, and I think the one I did divide was in a pot, pretty sure it was, you could get more for, you know, and divide them out. Now, out in the garden, every few years, you can divide your echinaceas. They are a perennial. I don't know what they're scratching over there. Anyways, okay, so over here is some more tomatoes. These are Camp Joy. These are my favorite small tomato. They're not like a cherry tomato. They're kind of like the size of a ping pong ball, but they are wonderful. These, I had a friend who swore by Sun Gold. She loved them. And I gave her one of these Camp Joy to grow one year, and after that, she only wanted Camp Joy. Sun Gold went out the window. She loved them so much, so I was glad I was able to help her enjoy something other. Sun Golds don't do well for me. Their skins are tough, they split really easy, and the flavor wasn't there compared to my Camp Joy, so I don't even bother growing them anymore, the Sun Gold. All right, I have more stuff over here, but, oh, I did want to share something with you. Okay, so this container are the Violet Queen salvias. I think it was Violet Queen that I seed sowed indoors. This is when it went indoors on my light rack. Here are the ones I winter sowed outside. There's very little difference in size, and I would say these ones to me look a little bit healthier. I'm not sure what this little purple plant coming up is. It looks like kale. Huh. Anyways, so for me, I would, you know, from here on out, not bother sowing the salvias indoors. Now, these all need to be potted up. So, okay, that's it for the show of my seedlings that are in here. There are more that are out there in their winter sowing containers. Those desperately need to be potted up because it's been so warm. Yesterday was 81. So yeah, they are struggling in their little bitty bit of soil that is in the winter sowing containers. It's just we went from so cold and snow to automatically so warm. So that's how come I go from I can't work outside or put anything in the ground to I have to put everything in the ground. So it's a super, super busy time of year. So I'm going to get my little pitcher that I use. And I'm going to, oh, doggone it. Did I get my hair in one of those stickers? Do I have a sticker on me? I could feel it. Ah, dang it. That's so gross. Okay, that's going in the trash. I hate those gnat things. I have to use them though. Okay, so back over here. I like having pretty little things. I think I got this at IKEA years ago, so I don't know if they still have them. We should look. Anyways, it's just the right size, so it doesn't get too heavy when you're doing stuff with it. Let me see. Can you see down here? I'm just gonna a drop in each one. I could just pour it in the tray, but I like it when it gets a little bit on the leaves. When they're super tiny, sometimes it could discolor the leaves, but these are fine. Look at this is one of my roses I took cuttings from and potted up. I'll take you in my bespoke greenhouse and I'll show you the ones I got from my local chapter Rose Society. I joined that because they do garden tours of private gardens that I normally wouldn't even know about. So that way I can enjoy that. I'm putting this on the tomatoes over here. Am I still on the camera? I get busy doing. Anyway, so I basically do that. Now this, I admit, was weak, and that's okay, because I have mentioned this before, probably in the video all about the liquid fertilizer. I like to do weekly, meaning very weak strength, and then I fertilize every week rather than once a month or what have you. And that, if you think about it, in the ground they're being fed all the time by the soil microbes, and in containers they're not getting that. And as you water, especially if they're in smaller containers, all the nutrients get washed out very easily if the plant hasn't been able to use them yet. So weekly really works for me, especially with my seedlings. So yeah, also anything like that I know is rooted, like my rose there and stuff, I will also fertilize those. So are you over here? A castor bean plant. I don't know if castor bean, you know, some things don't care for regular fertilization. They like poorer soil, like nasturtiums. If you grow nasturtiums, they bloom better with poorer soil. So put them in an area that doesn't get fertilizer, does not have very rich soil. I just was reading, somebody was complaining that nasturtiums are invasive. And I'm thinking, you know, here they're not. And you can't make a broad, across-the-board statement about a plant. In some areas, things are more aggressive than in others. So a lot of that is localized. And they were reprimanding, it was a local extension office, that the master growers were saying, hey, nasturtiums, you can eat them, you can do whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then somebody piped in there, oh, you shouldn't do that, they're very invasive, and blah, blah, blah. Don't recommend this plant. People are getting a little too crazy about claiming certain things are invasive rather than just looking at their local conditions and looking locally as to what is a little more aggressive than others. Because in other areas, like here, I barely can get them to grow. In others, they become a problem. So you just have to be very aware of what is for around you and not across the country. I find that so petty. That's what I find it. I know people want to be careful, and that's great. But you can't condemn one person for recommending something that can be beneficial and make blanket statements. So let's see, I think that's it for fertilizing. Let's go over to the bespoke greenhouse, and I will show you, outside as well, I will show you my winter sowing containers and what's in them and why I really need to get them potted up and what's going on in my little greenhouse that we built together. So I said I was gonna show you what's going on in my bespoke greenhouse. You can see I'm clearing out some stuff from there. This is what I had used as a shelf to put seedlings on that I was protecting from the cold. And as you can see, excuse my roosters, I've started planting some tomatoes. Now, I have to fertilize these. This soil is very sandy, and I did not compost here last fall. I don't remember why. Anyway, so I need to fertilize, so I'm going to give them the eco-organic. I made up a gallon jug, and I'm just going to pour it around the root zone. I'm going to give it maybe a third, because I have 3 to do, third to a half. I can always make more. Now the other one, the first one that I fertilized was my beefsteak, and this one is called Genuine. It's a cross of brandy wine and Castelluto Genovese. And this one I have yet to get planted. I'm going to give it a shot here, and I'll go ahead and moisten the soil with it, so when I do plant it, it will be ready. This one I do believe is Camp Joy. It is one of my favorite. It's not a cherry tomato, it's bigger. It's about the size of a ping pong ball, but so flavorful that people who used to love the sun gold, when I gave them one of these plants to grow, they decided this one was even better. So it's not just me that thinks so. This is called Camp Joy, and I get the seeds from Renee's Garden Seeds, and it works well. So this side I still need to take care of. These are some of my winter sowing jugs that I put in here when this direct sun was too hot for them. And Rudbeckia, I got some in there. I got some white swan echinacea, and I'm not sure what the third one is, but still things in here that are not overwintering, but were in here from the winter. I need to move out of here, because this side is where I put my cucumbers and what have you. I'm still debating whether I'm going to take down the panels or not. I should try it with the panels on and see how everything does, and just go from there. So here's some roses. I started from cuttings, and some of them have rooted and some are still working on it. So, and here's the weed batch, that bucket I throw into the chicken pen. And my sweet peas, I gotta get these out. It gets too hot in here for them. I just haven't had a chance to plant them out. So slowly but surely. Now this is, I direct sowed some zinnias in here, but they were older seeds. It doesn't look like they came up, but this, I don't know what this is. It could be a squash. It looks kind of like a squash, or a begonia, one or the other. I cannot tell. So anyways, and more of my hollyhocks that need to get planted. But this time of year, as I've mentioned before, it's like everything needs to be done. And I just chip away at it. I don't let it stress me out. Look at this gorgeous iris. The iris are starting to pop, but I will give you a garden tour this week so you can see what's happening, what is blooming. So that, my friends, is my fertilizing of my seedlings. A lot of them have already gotten planted out. And it just gives them that boost they need. The ones that are in here are doing great. Let me turn it around just to give you a quick shot of some of the things in here that probably have shot up since I last showed you. Alrighty, so you can see there's a lot of things missing. And look at these zinnias. These were the mix. These were not my orange, so I need to get these out. These marigolds shooting right up. The castor bean is kind of the same size. I need to get that out. And these tomatoes have obviously jumped up, and so much going on. As I said, I really need to get these out, planted out in the garden, and I am chipping away slowly, slowly but surely. Alrighty, I will see you in my next video.